In this video, I am going to show you how to use the snap options and the guidelines within the software. Now, the first thing we need to cover is what the snap options actually are. And if you follow my mouse pointer up to the top toolbar here, you'll see we have this option here for Smart Snap, and then next to it we have the option for Geometry Snap. And then next to that, you can see we have an option for a grid. So we're going to go over what these all do in just a moment, and you'll also see that I've got a vector here ready to demonstrate some snapping options. So the first thing we need to cover is what is Smart Snap, Geometry Snap, and the grid. Well, the Smart Snap allows us to smartly snap to areas that we might want to draw on. So to show you an example of this, if I go to the polyline tool and I start drawing on my star vector here, you'll notice that I can snap to the points at the end of the star here. You'll notice that when I snap to it, I can begin drawing from those areas, and I can do it from the middle of those points there. And you'll also see that I can snap to the middle of the span of the star here as well. And crucially, you can see that dashed line now appearing from that snap point. You can see that I can move this around and I'll get different snap point angles. For example, I get an angled line there that follows the angle of that span there. And indeed, I can also get lines that go across horizontally. And that is what the Smart Snapping is. It gives you a sort of guideline on where you may want to draw. So for example, if I want to draw across this area, so I'll left mouse click, and you'll notice now I get that dashed line allowing me to see where I can snap to. So I can snap all the way to the right hand side here, and I've drawn a line. And then if I want to go to another area, you can see I can snap to that center point here, and then I can also snap to this area here, or indeed if I want to go elsewhere, you can see that those handy guidelines pop up to let me know where I can go to help guide my drawing. I'm just going to pop over to this side, and just like that you can see I've made an interesting shape within inside my star there. You'll also notice that we have Geometry Snap. Now for Geometry Snapping, if I just Command Z to get rid of that drawing, this is where we can snap within our actual geometry. So for example, if we already have a shape like our star here, you'll notice that I can snap to the middle of it, or the middle of the job as well. And you can notice, as I did earlier, I can snap to parts of the actual element itself. So if I draw another shape, so let's go for a circle, for example. If I just pop in a circle now, and I have these overlapping elements of the star and the circle. Well, first of all, the main difference is that our star is a pointed shape, and obviously we've got an arced shape for our circle. But you'll notice that with the geometry snapping, I can snap to those center points of the arc. You'll notice that as I move my cursor around, it will snap, there we go, to that arc point. And then if I come around to the bottom here, it will also snap to the arc point, which is just there. And then obviously we have our midpoints, and then we have another arc point over here. So we can see just how useful that is, because if I want to snap to a specific point, such as the middle of an arc, I can do that. You'll also notice, now that I've got an overlapping element with the circle and the star here, I can also snap to the intersection. So this is a really cool way you can draw some interesting shapes, because if I want to just snap to the intersection and start drawing out a shape just comprised of the areas that touch the intersections, I can begin to do that by using my snapping, and you can see how quickly I'm able to just start drawing and getting a shape made by using those intersections. So already, just like that, we have a new shape within inside of our current shapes. Now, I did mention earlier that there is the option for a snap grid. So let's go all the way to the top left here, and we'll turn this on. And now what you'll notice is now I have a dotted grid in the background of my workspace here, and you can see that I can now manipulate this. So if I go back to the polyline tool, and I'm just going to Command Z to delete the shape we had made just a moment ago, you can see that I can now use this grid to snap to start making some shapes. So let's say I wanted to draw a rectangle very quickly. Well, I can snap to that grid point there, left mouse click to start drawing, and then you'll see I can snap to that one there at the number 2. It showed me the length there as I'm doing this dynamically. And let's say I want it to be 1.25 inches or 1/8 of an inch there, and I can pop up to 2 again up here because I've got a point there for my grid. And just like that, I've made a shape. Let's say I want to make a really tiny triangle. I can simply snap to those points, and just like that I've made a very intricate and very small triangle. So you can see how handy this comes in to your drawing, and we can actually manipulate some of the options regarding the grid if we also have a look at our settings. So to do that, let's go all the way to the top left of the software. We'll click on the Spark text. We'll choose this option here for settings, and then what we're going to do is go to Tools and Input, and you'll see here we've got the option for snapping. So you'll see now with the snapping options here, we've got grid spacing, nudge distance, and snapping radius. So let's go through these in order. So the grid spacing is the literal space between each one of our points here for our grid. So currently this is set to 0.25 or a quarter of an inch. Now if I change that value, so let's say if we go to 0.5 for example. If I now close out this form by pressing the red X in the top corner, you'll notice now the distance between these points has now changed. So you can see that's now reflected that. So you can see this one in X is 3 and then this one is 3.5 because we've set the distance of 0.5. Now I can come back up to the top, click on Spark, click on Settings, Tools and Input, and then we'll go back into the next option. And we'll just actually change that back down to 0.25. I quite like having my grid at 0.25. And then the next option is the nudge distance. So this is the fixed nudge distance of when you're moving a part in the software. So for example, if I just close out of this form, you'll notice now my grid has gone back to 0.25 because I had made that change. So let's just select our triangle, for example, or indeed our rectangle. And when you press Command, Shift, and up, down, left, and right, that is your fixed nudge distance. So that is that value that we had set in that form there. So if you want to make that larger or smaller as needed, please do have a play around with those settings to make that distance what you need it to be. In my case, 0.062 is fine. It's a incremental distance. I don't want to nudge too far, and I actually quite like that value. But if you want to change that, you're more than welcome to do so. Let's go back up to the Spark settings. And we'll go to Settings again, and again, Tools and Input. And then finally we have our snapping radius. So this is, as you can see here, the description is the pixel radius around the cursor inside which the snap engine searches for snap targets. So effectively, how close you need to get to snap to a target. So you'll see we have a slider here, and as I manipulate this slider, if I left mouse click and drag, you'll notice that my crosshair or my cursor becomes smaller and larger as I go left to right. So you notice on the right there I've got a really large cursor, which means I've got a much larger snapping radius, so it's easier to snap to the nearest object. And indeed, if I go smaller, I've got a much smaller, precise snapping radius. I actually quite like it where it was in the middle, but if you do want to change that, you can do that. And let's say for whatever reason you've messed around with these settings and you can't remember what they were originally, don't worry, you can go all the way down to the bottom left and click on Reset All to reset all those values if you ever need to. But with that covered, let's have a look at another option in the software, which is to use guidelines. So let's close out of this form and let's click the red X in the top left here. And we're going to just turn off our grid and we're going to have a look at some guidelines. Now, to actually turn on guidelines, let's first turn on our ruler. So we'll go to the top left and turn on the ruler. And we want this option next to it on. We want the guidelines option on here, okay? And then what we're going to do is hover our mouse over our ruler, so on the left or the top here. And you'll notice that my cursor changes to reflect that we can do something, and we can simply left mouse click and drag in a guideline. So you can see here, just like that, I've dragged in a guideline from the top, and I can do so from the left as well. I can just pop one in just like that into the software. Now if I just start deleting out some of the vectors I don't need right now, so I'll get rid of the star on the circle, we'll get rid of our little triangle, and we'll get rid of our rectangle. You can see now that we can start using our guidelines to help us draw. So if I go over to the left hand side and left mouse click onto the polyline tool, we can snap to that guideline and then we can use it to help inform our drawing. You can see I can snap to various segments on this guideline, and I can snap to the sections over here, and I can bring it along that guideline wherever I need it to be, and then I can simply go back there, and just like that I've used my guideline to make a shape. Now if I just escape out of the polyline tool If I drag in another guideline from the top, you'll notice I have this value here, and that represents where it currently is in Y. Now if I press 6, for example, on the keyboard and press enter, that will move it to the Y position of 6 in the software. I can do the same thing with a guideline if I move it in from the left here. So it's currently at 3. If I put that at 6 as well, press enter, you can see how that moves it to that location in the software. And you'll also notice we've got a rotation angle here. So you can see it's currently set to 90. Well, I can move this in a couple of ways. I can either manually drag that rotation handle around if I want to, or indeed I can set a value. So I can type in 30, for example, press enter, and now that guideline is at 30 degrees. And you can indeed enter minus values. So if I type in minus 30, you'll see it's now done it to minus. So you can play around with these guidelines to your heart's content to try and get some interesting use out of them to help guide your vector drawing. Now if I want to delete a guideline, I can just simply left mouse click on it and press the backspace or delete button to get rid of these. So I can just get rid of all of these if I don't need them. And there is further functionality in that you can right mouse click and then choose guidelines and then insert horizontal. And just like that, you can insert a horizontal guideline. You can move it where you need to. And we can do the same for right mouse click, guidelines, insert vertical. And I can move this where I need to in the design. And then finally, right mouse click, guidelines, insert angled. And we now have our angled guideline which we can move about, and you can manipulate this as well. You can see here we've got the X and Y position, so I can change this to 4 and 5. And I can change the position of that guideline as needed. So plenty of options there to play around with when it comes to snapping and guidelines. And if you ever want to use your guidelines but then turn them off for some visibility, all you have to do, follow my left mouse pointer all the way up to the top left here, and we're going to click on guidelines to turn those off. And just like that, they're now turned off. And we can click that back on again to turn them back on. So you can see just how powerful of a tool this is. So I highly encourage you to have a play around with snapping and guidelines, because they'll certainly aid your designs just like they aid mine. And we look forward to seeing you in the next video.